So special to see Cam Ward rewarded for all of that hard work. Time to read and react to some more of the best of rookie minicamps this weekend. And here is Cam Ward on his approach to competition in the quarterback's room.
I always embrace competition. I didn't know that was a buzzword. That's what people are saying. I always compete in everything I do with myself, the other quarterbacks, receivers, anything we're doing, we compete. So it really don't bother me. At the end of the day, it's a job. So, that's how you got to approach it. I'm about business. I really want to be a pro. I want to be one of the great ones. And I just want to be a good teammate at the end of the day.
Titans coach Brian Callahan comes from Cincinnati. Can he take the offense there and build one like it with Ward?
I think in time, Laura, in time because Ward does have a lot of the qualities needed to run an offense like that. He's smart. He plays really well inside the pocket. He's got a great arm and a quick release. But the offense around him is not what Cincinnati was in terms of the pass catchers. And that offense in Cincinnati was predicated on Jamar Chase, T. Higgins winning those one-on-ones outside. I like Calvin Ridley, but the receiving group just isn't there. So I think Callahan's going to have to find a way to blend some of the different approaches he's taken over the course of his career thus far. But I do like that as a long-term vision for Cam Ward.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it on the field. All right, next in Denver, Sean Payton and company drafted R.J. Harvey in the second round. He was asked about following in the footsteps of some of the great running backs Payton coached.
Definitely want to be like those guys. Like Darren Sproles, he went crazy with the Saints. Kamara too. So I want to be better than those guys. So I'm gonna work to, work every day, get better, and just prove myself to all the vets and the coaches. I want to make an immediate impact in this league.
Damian, what can Payton do with a back like Harvey to make things easier for Bo Nix in year two?
He can. Especially in the passing game, and I think that's where Sean Payton really sees the added value in the passing game. Guy has soft hands. He's very good running routes out of the backfield. So you talk about not only a dynamic runner, but a guy who can be a difference maker in the passing game as well.
Let's go to New York, where Jackson Dart was at the Giants rookie camp over the weekend. Here's what he had to say about his position on the quarterback depth chart in New York.
I haven't, really sat before.
Middle school, elementary school, anything?
No.
No? Nothing?
No. I'm a competitor, so I'm going to come to work each and every day and, do my best to make everybody around me better. I understand, what the situation is, but, for me, myself, I care about winning.
Hey, Ross, what is the Giants' plan for Dart?
To give him as much time as he needs to be ready to start in the NFL. And that could be the whole season. That's why they have Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston there. So they have veterans who they know can start games up until the point when Jackson Dart is ready. Think about last year's Patriots, how they opened the season with Jacoby Brissett and wanted to wait as long as possible on Drake May. And no, obviously it doesn't always go according to plan. It almost never does. The rookie plays oftentimes sooner than expected. But what the Giants want Jackson Dart to know is that you can take whatever time you need to get ready to play in the NFL. And in the meantime, we have guys that can do it. So they just don't want him to rush. And that's why they built their quarterback room the way they did.
Yeah, the hard part is you hear the competitive nature of Jackson Dart, even in the sound that we heard right before. He may be pushing to get out there on the field, as you know. The Giants' fourth-round pick, by the way, running back Cam Scatterbo, was at camp over the weekend, too. He was asked if he'd bring a little more finesse to his running style now that he's playing on Sundays. Here's what he said.
I more so hit people or attack their one shoulder, but, people want to sleep, they can sleep. I have no issue with that. It feels good when you run somebody over and then get in the end zone. It feels good when you get in the end zone, but imagine running someone over and then running another person over and then getting in the end zone. Yeah. It's that much better,
Scatterbo's like this just vintage running back, throwback a little bit, right? D-Wood, how fun is he going to be to watch this season?
Excuse me, Laura, I might have to go strap on my shoulder pads and get ready because that's the type of response that every offensive lineman wants to hear from their running back. And he's going to play perfectly in the New York market. I can tell you that right now. He's a different type of back than Tyrone Tracy. He's a physical that wants to bring the physicality to the defensive player. And that's, honestly, that's big blue football. If you think about it, when the Giants were really good, when they were really relevant, they always had a rushing attack. So if he can bring that type of physicality to the New York Giants offense, boy, he's going to be beloved here in this area.
You know what's fun about Scatterbo is there's all these reps of him from college or highlights of him like barreling through 20 dudes, just refusing to go down at the goal line. But Damian, he also has the softest hands as a pass catcher. Like, he's a third down back. He is tremendous, actually, as a receiver, which is a very unusual combination of skills. So I'm excited to see how the Giants use him throwing him the football, because let me tell you, don't be fooled by how he looks as a runner. He can catch it.
Mina, absolutely correct. The Giants know this and love it about him. Obviously, they have Tyrone Tracy from last year, who's a former wide receiver, but they didn't love the way he was in terms of pass protection and necessarily even reliably catching the ball. So there is an opportunity there for Scatterbo to contribute in a couple of ways.
He had the second most yards after contact in the FBS last season, trailing only Ashton Genty, who D. Wood also loves. But I got to say, Scatterbo's the one that's got you ready to strap the pads back on D. Wood, so he might be your new favorite. All right, more on NFL Live after this, but we are going to continue to go back to Cowboys-Eagles as we got more incredible moments to celebrate like this one as we get you ready for the season opener. Cowboys pulling out a thrilling win as Terry Glenn caught a 20-yard touchdown from Drew Bledsoe. 3 minutes left.
He has not been attending off-season workouts, but nothing mandatory has been missed yet. Steelers last week, as we know, traded away George Pickens to the Cowboys, leaving them with this crew at wide receiver for this year. They're high on Calvin Austin, a couple of their younger guys. Don't be surprised to see the Steelers poke around at potential trades or other outside acquisitions at wide receiver. A place like a Green Bay, where there might be a surplus of available receivers, might be one to watch there as the offseason moves along. And then, Laura, the big news from this weekend was the announcement of Derek Carr's retirement. Derek Carr, the Saints quarterback, who's been dealing with a shoulder injury that would require surgery if he wanted to keep playing, announced on Saturday that instead he is going to retire from the NFL after 11 seasons. Hit $30 million in guaranteed salary coming his way this year, but has decided that is not worth it in terms of continuing his career and fighting through another shoulder surgery and recovery from that. So Derek Carr hanging it up after 11 years in the NFL.
Yeah, congratulations certainly on a great career by Derek Carr. But with Carr out, that leaves 3 quarterbacks on the Saints roster, and they have 0 wins in the NFL between them. Look at that, 3 zeros, goodness. Shuck, okay, he's a rookie, so he hasn't had a chance yet. And Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener are combined 0-7 in their careers. Kellen Moore, the head coach, talked this weekend about getting his young QBs up to speed.
I think naturally it's just reps. It's just reps and experience. And, again, there's going to be plenty of adversity and, moments of failure through a preseason and a training